Pat the Cat and the Treasure, written by Mary Yatzeck. This is Pat the Cat, and he's an adventurer. He is hoping to find treasure with his friends. He likes mountains, castles, and biking, but he really likes to make friends all around the world, and this is his story. Starting at this particular adventure to the top of a mountain, where he meets two foxes, finds treasures, looks at the scenery, and other stuff. Pat looked up at the scenery, half amazed by all the beautiful mountains and trees, and the other half wishing he brought a coat. It was pretty cold halfway up the mountain in autumn, but it was going to be worth it once he got to the top, and once he got to his hotel with a free breakfast and indoor pool. You could make lots of new friends too. He smiled as he started back up the rocky terrain, thinking about the adventures he was going to have up there. As Pat reached the top, he looked down at how far he was, and wow, was he high. Good thing he's not scared of heights, otherwise this would be a very bad situation for him. As soon as he reached the top, he practically collapsed into a heap on the bench he sat on. His body ached all over. He had lost his hat, but he had made it. He was proud of himself, but he was kind of worried. Was he going to have to go that way back down? It was too steep. He forgot about that pretty quick though, and he got up and walked along the edge of the stone walls they put up so the little ones don't fall off. He was admiring the hills and waterfalls when suddenly he found someone. Two someones, actually. He walked close and said, "Hi, my name is Pat." The larger of the two foxes said, "Hi, my name is Whitetail, and this is Redtail." "Hello," Redtail said. "Nice to meet you." "I'm glad to meet you too," Pat said. "So what brings you up here on this fine morning?" Redtail said with a smile. "Adventure," Pat said. "I want to find treasures." "Ooh," Whitetail said, jumping for joy. "I know the best place for that, finding treasures and jewels and everything." "Let's go," Pat said very excitedly. This was his first real adventure. Anyone would be excited. They went to Whitetail's house to get some transportation devices. There was no transportation devices at her house, but she had a wonderful house. "Wow," Pat said. "This is beautiful." "Thank you, Pat," said Whitetail, smiling. Pat took a seat at the mushroom chairs and said, "These are squishy." Whitetail laughed, and then they walked to the mining chambers. They arrived at the mining chambers. Pat went to the front desk and said, "Hello, we would like to go in and find treasure." The deer behind the black painted glass said, "15, please." "15 of what?" Pat said. "Dollars," the deer said. $15. "What? I thought it was free," Pat said as he looked at Whitetail surprised and angry. "I don't have any money." Whitetail smiled and gave $15 to the deer behind the glass, and they walked through the gate to where the mining chambers were. They followed the deer through the mining stations. They got to the mining area and they had to pay again. Pat rolled his eyes, but Whitetail simply smiled and paid $2 for each of them, and they walked past again. They were looking at all the animals mining, when suddenly a beaver shouted, "I found it!" They all looked over at the beaver, and a lot of the miners started cheering for the beaver. Pat realized it was going to be hard mining out there in the hard rock. He was in his rock cubby all alone, because he needed a cat-sized rock cubby, and they needed fox-sized rock cubbies. He was given a pickaxe to pick away at the back wall to try to find gems and minerals. He started mining almost immediately, picking away at the rock with his pickaxe. Eventually, after considerable effort, he got a huge chunk of rock off the wall. There, glistening in the dim candlelight underground, he saw a huge chunk of silver. Pat stared at the silver, amazed, and then after about 5 seconds of nothingness, he yelled as loud as he could, "I got the biggest chunk of silver in the mine!" He started doing a celebratory dance, and his friends came in. They looked at the silver and started dancing too. Then he looked at Whitetail and said, "I'm paying you back. Then let's have a partay." They went to Redtail's house and partied all day. Then they went skydiving. If you enjoy these stories, you'll love this creative activity book, where you can write your own stories and so much more. All links can be found in the description below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. It can help the author win a creative writing contest. Thanks for watching.